He's a commercial real estate developer, and he joins me now. Jay, you are predicting a bloodbath for the commercial real estate market. That's a very strong word to use. Make your case.
It's true. Well, realistically, what we're dealing with is a lot of pent-up forces that are all coming into play right now. The central business district office has been devastated by stay-at-home pandemic restrictions. All of the disruption that we've seen there has caused all of those assets to really be in non-covenant compliance. Same thing with Class A retail that didn't get absorbed in the last cycle, and then certainly all of your hospitality has been devastated throughout this pandemic and over the course of the last couple of years. That in and of itself is going to cause massive defaults. The good news is that there's opportunities for these things to turn around for investors, but the bad news is that through the Troubled Asset Deferral Program, which is part of the CARES Act, nobody has reported on these for 18 months. So we have 18 months of defaults that are all going to start hitting now. That happened, that program terminated as of January 1st, 2022. And they've got 60 days to report it. So by the second quarter of this year, those things are going to start to come out, and banks are going to have to deal with that. So that's going to be a huge crisis in and of itself. And then obviously we know that the banks, when they start to take on defaulted assets, they're not really in a position to make loans. And so many of those assets that did stabilize but have now been hurt are going to be hamstrung by their balance sheets because 3 years historic operating statements won't really be there to support new debt. With values plummeting, there's going to be a lot of blood in the streets and a lot of folks who are going to be looking for safe havens. Okay,
when you say this bloodbath expression again, you're referring to rents coming way down, values of buildings and retail operations coming way down. That's the bloodbath reel, right?
Well, it's that, but it's also cap rate compression. We've had such cap rate compression, so you've seen values skyrocket over the last several years because it really was a seller's market, but that's about to shift. When there isn't debt, then there's less players to take those assets on. So by the natural course of things, when those values drop, lenders have to go back through and revalue them. And this is what happened in 2008, and why I feel this crisis is going to be even worse. Because what they do is the federal regulators send out appraisers to evaluate all of the assets that are in their loan portfolio. And the pressure is going to be on those values to be pressed down because rents are dropping, occupancies are dropping, and then you've got the interest rate expansion, which messes up the debt coverage. So those forces together are going to cause values to plummet. When that happens, everybody loses.
Well, you've made me understand it. You've brought it home to me, and we really appreciate that. And we consider ourselves warned about the defaults to come. Jay Scott, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much, sir. We'll see you again.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
you got it.